What would happen is water would build up in here.
But that's not record paint marks. That's factory paint marks.
Hold on,
really chucking it.
Oh,
Here it is, guys. Our time capsule EG sedan. Wow, this thing is in incredible condition and we're really excited to share it with you. This is gonna be a future project on the channel, but we thought, why not share with you guys what it's like to go for a drive in a mint condition 1995 Honda Civic sedan special edition and just kind of like go back in time. This is a time machine, so why not share that experience with you? So that's really going to be the focus of today's video. But before we do that, we'll give you the whole story of how we ended up with this. We'll put it up on the lift and show you the condition of it because it really is pretty mind-blowing.
Let me start off by saying it has been a long journey to find a vehicle like this. These cars, just at least up in our area, like all of Canada, do not really exist anymore. So I've been searching for about 8 months for an EG sedan, and then this thing popped up on Facebook Marketplace, but it was all the way on the opposite side of the country in Victoria, British Columbia. So that meant I couldn't actually go see it, but a huge thank you to Nick and John, who did go out and look at this car, sent me some photos, and then I dealt with Marcus. Guys, let me tell you, these days with Facebook Marketplace or just buying stuff online, it's riddled with scams, like flaky people, all this stuff. And Marcus was truly a treat to deal with. His 80-year-old mother owned this car, so that meant she wasn't really savvy enough to deal with it, and he just made this such a smooth and easy process. I even wired him money before knowing that this car was going to be 100% mine, and it just worked out so well. So after everything was said and done, getting this car back to Ontario here proved to be a little bit more expensive than I had anticipated, and because it was on the island there in British Columbia, it had to go off of it. So I had to figure out transport, got it off the island, then onto a train, and all the way here. 3 weeks later, it showed up here. For those of you with a keen eye, you will notice that this car has been repainted in a few spots here and there. I can't exactly figure out if the whole car has been resprayed or maybe it's been resprayed in stages, but it certainly is not original. That being said, it's not that bad, and this is a super rare color, only offered in 1995 for this special edition in malachite green pearl, and it really looks stunning. The downside to it is it's very hard to match. So areas, I'll show you in a second, that you can kind of tell have been resprayed are definitely back here on this rear quarter area. You can see between the door and this, the color is a little bit different. It's actually missing the flake. So there's not enough flake in this versus the door. This door does look to be original. I would say this is one of the things that have, or one of the areas that does have original paint. But the big reason why I picked this car up was because of how clean and rust free it is. It is truly a survivor, and it living on an island, it didn't rack up a ton of mileage. It's got 162,000 kilometers on it, so it's very, very low for the generation. This is a very common sight on an older elderly lady's car. That is, a little bit of bumping on the corners. She probably scraped, I don't know, a wall or another car here. So, it does have a bunch of little bumps and bruises all the way around, but overall, like everything I've looked at does look like it has OEM panels. These headlights though, they do look super clean, like almost too clean. I don't see any peppering, and they are glass, so I suspect they did get replaced maybe the last time the bumper was reshot. For you OG Honda guys, you'll know the #1 leading cause to rust in this area and like the decay of the rear fenders is this rubber piece here. I feel like I should just peel this off right now, DP.
Yep.
But you can see
it's an evil moisture trapping.
Exactly.
device.
It's just like an area that what would happen is water would build up in here and then would just start rotting the fender. And you can see on this car, man, it is clean. Just a little bit of surface rust I see right up in this area, just the tiniest amount, but otherwise unbelievably clean. Now these, I can see there's been some work done here, but the rear quarter here, the magnet is sticking to it, so there has not been major rust or anything that has been replaced or fixed here. I can see the swirls from the sanding on here. The type of person that would do this would not be the type of person that would cut this out with metal and professionally redo this. So I'm still convinced that this car has never seen quarter panel rust, which is amazing.
Before we show you underneath, let's have a look in the engine bay and feast your eyes on this thing.
Woo!
1995, and we've had a good look here, and the only rusty bolt we can find, and even it's not completely rusty, is on the rad bracket here. And
It's not even rusty, it's like surface.
it's just a light surface rust, but everything else is like, if we wipe the dirt off this, it would be like we were in 1995. It's an incredible
Just
condition.
needs a dry splash, and like that zinc, all these zinc pieces, they will come back to life.
It's wild. Like normally these clamps on the rad hoses are just disgusting. Like Ontario, or Onterrible as I now call it, this car would be garbage. So the fact that this survived on the island in Vancouver, or Victoria I should say, it's just amazing to me. And like original radiator, this is a D15 B7 original engine, rated at 102 horsepower and 98 pound-feet of torque. And the most important part over here, Peter, manual gearbox, everybody. That's right, a 3-pedal sedan. That has got to be extremely rare. I can't imagine they sold very many sedans with a manual gearbox.
And kudos to the old lady driving
Yeah.
this, right? Like 80 years old, working the 3-pedal.
Yeah, that is very impressive. I mean, back then, I guess she would have grown up when automatic gearboxes were not even a thing. So maybe that's why she went with the manual. It's just, she liked to bang gears. My first time underneath, and wow, I cannot believe what I'm seeing. At first I was like, oh no, it's not the original subframe because there's paint marks on it. But that's not record paint marks. That's factory paint marks, including paint marks on the bolts. I've never seen that before on a Canadian car. All the original plastics here, like normally this under tray here would have been gone 20 years ago. It would be just destroyed. Like even the nuts and bolts on the exhaust system, which would normally be completely rotted, are in good shape. The header is not dented because it has never been lowered or modified.
Look at the oil pan. I don't even see a leak on the oil pan.
Dude, it is
unreal.
No scratches because no low boys have ruined this car yet. It's unbelievable. There is no sign of any leaks anywhere. It is bone dry under here. By the way, guys, 13-inch wheels with 175 70-13 tires.
Pizza cutters.
Unbelievable, like the amount of sidewalk squish you're gonna have, the comfort you're gonna have with these. Not to mention the low mass, like that is a light wheel and tire package with tiny useless little brakes, but you're not gonna go that fast. You don't need big brakes on this thing.
And it's just amazing to think that manufacturers were building vehicles like this where now it's like, a 17 is small, right?
Yeah. Usually, 16s or 17s is for the stripper model, and then you get 18s or 19s on like the, upgrade your wheel and tire package model. So crazy to think we were on 13s just, 30 years ago. Under the back here, we can see it does not have the original exhaust system. This is an aftermarket, replacement crush bend unit, but it does have the classic T-shooter exhaust tip. So they kept it OG, and you can see the subframe here has like the original undercoating here, and like none out in the, structural area of it, and it's in remarkably clean condition. There's like a tiny bit of rust forming around some of the bolt holes, but it is just, like you can see the zinc coating on the fuel filler neck here, everybody. That is unbelievable to me. Drum brakes in the rear because cost cutting, no rear sway bar because not performance car. And just look at the general condition of the underbody here. It is spotless, not a scratch or a dent on it. All right, everyone, now that we've shown you the unbelievable condition of this car, this thing is Radwood ready, but we are ready to take it for a test drive and show you guys what it's like to go back in time. I hope you're excited about this because I am super pumped. For those of you wondering, like, Golden Era Hondas, they hold a special place in my heart and Pete's heart too. They're really special cars, double wishbone suspension, lightweight. It's gonna be a blast. Before we go anywhere, Peter, we gotta show people this tiny little key. The most hilarious thing, and it's got like a little little Honda tag on it with like shell.
It's from Honda City.
Honda City.
That's right.
I guess that's the dealership in Victoria, maybe?
That's right. This is a one-owner car, man.
Look at that tiny little key.
Yeah.
There's no pomp and circumstance in 1995. It's all basic and simple, and that's the way it should be, really. This is driving purity.
For some.
This is the definition of purity, isn't it? There's no wireless anything, there's no Bluetooth, there's no cell phone, there's no big dash here. We've got a digital clock. That's like the only digital thing in this whole car.
And Honda still does that, ironically.
Yeah, they do.
But yeah, like the deck is still here, which is crazy to see, man.
It is.
Like an original cassette. It does say CD controller,
I know.
so there is
a 6 disc in the trunk, I think.
somewhere. Did they even come though? They didn't come with 6 disc changers. But who knows? I'm sure one of the pros can tell us. I just used to love the fact that there was analog buttons for bass, treble, and balance.
Yeah.
And all that. Where now it's all controlled through a computer. Let's see. Do we have AC? Let's see here, DP.
Oh yeah, I felt the AC compressor come on there because I lost 5 horsepower.
There you go. Yeah. And yes, there is AC.
There is AC.
Would you look at that?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, ice cold.
A little stinky, but I guess you don't need to drive with AC on in Victoria very much.
I know. And
can we talk about the ride quality? Because man, it is cushy. It is very soft. I mean, I guess these are 28-year-old dampers, but cars back then were sprung and damped differently. Like, they were softer.
Yes.
Modern
They were actually built for comfort, where now everything has to have that sport feeling.
Yeah.
Even though people are driving to work and back.
Small sidewalls on tires.
Yeah.
Like, ride comfort is much less a thing these days, I think. And I gotta say, I kind of like this vibe. It's
I love this, man.
It's chill, isn't it?
This brings me way back to my high school days. This is unbelievable. The interior of this car is man, so mint.
It's wild.
So mint.
It's wild.
Everything looks mint. I was looking at the screws. They have not been touched. The door cards haven't been off.
No.
It's wild.
It is.
It is wild.
And we can confirm the previous owner, the original owner, was a non-smoker. This lighter has never been used. The ashtray is spotless. The cup holders in this car is hilarious. It's got this little pop-up dual cup holder.
At least they did that in '95.
And they break really easily because they're kind of flimsy. So to see that survived is impressive.
It's unbelievable. The funny thing is, I don't know if the lady lost the rear mats, but there's now carpet that resides back there that has been cut just to preserve the area back there that nobody probably ever rides in.
Yeah.
You know, but man,
the seats are spotless. The steering wheel is not worn. It's so a little dirty. We haven't cleaned this. We haven't even dusted this thing off, but the condition of it is amazing. And the brakes work well. There's no vibrations in the brake.
Mm-hmm.
You can tell the car's been well cared for. She obviously loved her car.
Yeah, there is a stack.
Holy cow, yeah, look at that.
Of receipts, bills, and everything. This is...
Love to see that.
It's all here, man. It is all here, which is super, super cool. Brakes, oil changes.
As for the incredible power that we've got here, all 102 horsepower, are you ready to
give me the downshift? Let's go.
I mean, it's actually not slow.
No.
Because it's a lightweight car. So even though it only has 102 horsepower,
that's not bad.
It's not terrible.
It's almost as slow as my Lexus CT200H.
Yeah, exactly. Compared to, say, a modern, I don't know, Prius or something along those lines.
Let's see if you can chirp the 1-2 shift here, DP. Oh, the tires are too good.
There's no tack in this car.
I love that,
So you don't really know how many RPM you're pulling. It has a pretty soft limiter too, so you can bounce that all day if you want to. Over the railroad tracks, dodging a Chevy Cruise. This is Hamilton life at its finest.
This is the mean streets of Hamilton here.
It's taking me back to my 1993 Honda Civic hatchback, a CX, with the exact same engine and gearbox that my dad and I raced for a year before we B-swapped it, and it feels exactly like that. It's got long gearing, so it's not, geared for performance. And I bet you, I don't know off the top of my head what the fuel economy numbers on this, but they'd be pretty good, even by modern standards.
I bet.
Very decent fuel economy.
You know what? Go right and give us rip the corner here and see what kind of handling performance we have on this bad boy. Oh yeah, one wheel peel. There's rev limiter. It's so awesome. Oh no, there's somebody coming the other way here.
All right, we'll give it a chuck in the corner.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh,
it's got understeer, and it's got body roll, but that just adds to the dynamism, the sense of excitement.
Yeah, this is a slow car that you can drive fast.
You can heel and toe in this sedan,
and you're upshifting instead of downshifting. You forgot this is the 5-speed model here.
Right. we are
What
exceeding
a,
the posted
what
speed
a
limit.
machine,
It is
though.
a true performance sedan.
What a machine,
Ready
man.
for a sports sedan build-off. That's what this thing is.
Unreal. And look, it's still cold. It's not even reading in the middle, but that's how they used to do it. Oh, there's a little bit of that tire squeal. The tires are starting to warm up.
Yeah, and I mean, the fun part about a car like this is you can thrash it to within an inch of its life, and A, it's not going to break, and B, you're not going to get a speeding ticket. So it does add some fun to the whole experience because you just beat on it.
Well, DP, I really want to drive this.
Yeah,
thing.
you got to drive it.
We got to swap here somewhere because I can't wait to get behind the wheel of this thing.
Show us what you got with your 1-2 gear banging. Ready?
I'm ready. This car has probably never seen a thrashing like that before.
Right.
This motor is, So here, let's. Why don't we
have your mind blown?
Let's see how this clutch is going to handle it. Oh yeah, baby. Oh yeah. Look at that thing. Look at this thing go. Oh, and what a beauty.
The sheer excitement.
What a beauty. Hold on,
really chucking it.
Oh, we've crossed the line. We almost blew a tire there.
Yeah, you're gonna roll
what
right
a
off
car. Woo. You know, the thing that I made these cars for me so special was just like the driving feel of them. Like the weight of the power steering is perfect.
It is.
The shifter, like this could be the first generation. I don't know, like I haven't driven many EFs or prior Hondas to this age, but like this shifter is perfection to a certain extent, man. Like it's just
cable
so
shifters.
nice.
These are linkage shifters.
Yeah.
So it does have a
They're
better
just so
feel.
direct. They're not super sloppy. Like they've got just enough slop that it feels good.
Yeah.
You know, like super smooth. Like the throw is right. Like the ergonomics of this car when you get into it.
For sure.
Are just like bar none, man.
Low
like
dash, lots of greenhouse. Like think about the visibility you have in this car right now.
Yeah, like I can't even see if I'm sitting here, I can't see the hood.
Yeah, you're like driving in a bubble. It's so, the visibility compared to modern is so
amazing,
cool.
man.
The lightness, the double wishbone suspension, like I already mentioned, really does make them great handling cars. And they're like Lego. We could go back to our shop and we could deconstruct our Type R, and everything off that Type R would bolt onto this car. Yeah. We could turn this into a Type R sedan right now.
Which is what made Hondas so popular during their time, is you could take all the cars or all the parts from Japan, bolt them onto this thing, and do that, right?
And the Honda scene is so huge, there's obviously just an endless amount of aftermarket support, and the interchangeability from like rare European spec or rare Japanese spec versions of this car, you can really make it your own with like whatever recipe you want to use. They're really cool that way. Back at the shop, test drive over, and man, how much fun was that? Such a blast from the past. It really does give me all the right nostalgic vibes, and what an interesting contrast to our FD2 inspired Civic, which is actually only like 13 years newer than this, and yet what a dramatic difference there is in style and size and performance. It's kind of crazy how much progress Honda made, although there are parts of that car that aren't actually as advanced as this car, like its double wishbone suspension. In any case, guys, let us know in the comments below what you would do if you had your hands on a pristine four-door EG sedan like we do. Our plans are obviously to modify it, but to not destroy its essence. You know, we really do love this car, and we want to stay true to its roots. So I don't know that we're going to do something quite as destructive or as radical as, say, a K-swap. I think we're more likely to put a bit more of a nostalgic spin on the build, but we will certainly add a whole bunch of performance and style in the process. But we're not going to hack this car up because it's just too nice and too clean, and really, frankly, too cool to kind of keep it in some semblance of its time capsule form. So thank you guys for watching. We hope you enjoyed this sneak peek at future projects to come and this trip down memory lane.